All right. We have about a minute until it's 2 o'clock. If you've joined us for the live stream today, welcome. The links for the music that we're going to be playing today are in the description of the video. So it's the same music from last week because number one, we didn't get through everything, and number two, these songs are a bit challenging, so we're going to need to keep working on them. And I figured with about a week, you guys can have some time to practice the songs, and hopefully they'll be a little bit easier to play for you. But when the clock strikes 2 minutes, or 2 minutes, when the clock strikes 2 o'clock, we'll get started. So hope everybody's having a great day. Hopefully everybody can hear me today. I turned off the chat today, so hopefully we can just focus on the music because there was a lot of activity in the chat. I decided to do that just so that way we can focus in on the music. Okay, so it looks to be about 2 o'clock. So we're going to get started. What we're going to do today in terms of our music is we're going to start with our warm-ups, of course, and then we're going to work on the popular requested songs. So go ahead and get out your warm-up. If you don't have it ready to go, what you need to do is head to the Google Drive link, the first one for the warm-up, and then you're going to open up your instrument part. And then once you have that open, you can open up another tab and feel free to add in the second link. If you click on that and open it in a new tab, you can always right click on the link and it'll bring it up in a separate tab, and then click on that instrument part piece, the PDF for your instrument. Hopefully that makes sense. So anyways, we're going to get rolling here with warm-ups. This will probably be a shorter live stream today, but we will certainly take our time. We will certainly enjoy and have fun. And here we go. All right. So I'm probably going to be playing again a mix of clarinet and flute today. I'm hoping in the future down the road to have some brass instruments shared here, but this is all I have for right now. So anyways, we're going to get started with our warm-ups. We're going to start with number 1 from the warm-ups. Just quarter notes, whole note, and half notes. So just be careful. Make sure you're tapping your foot while you play. Let's give it a shot here. Number 1. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, that's number 1. All right, for the next warm-up that we will do today, we're going to move on to number 3. And watch out for this quarter rest on beat 1 in the first 3 measures, and then measures 5, 6, and 7. You'll know what I'm talking about when you're looking at sheet music. So here we go with number 3. 1, 2, number 3, rest. Okay, so that's number 3. And let's try one more. We're going to do number 5. We usually end with this one. The one thing that I've been noticing recently in lessons is students are moving too quickly, through half notes. So hopefully today this can help us with that. The biggest thing that you can do when you're practicing to make sure you have steady rhythm is number 1, count through your rhythms. We know how to count these from music class and from working in our band lessons and band also. And the other thing too, when you're playing, tap your foot, and that'll help you keep a steady beat. So let's try number 5. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. we are all done with warm-ups. So again, if you don't have the music yet, you're going to need to click on the second link that I've posted in the description of this video. Once you have opened the correct PDF, the title of the music is Beginner Band Most Requested Tunes version 1. Last week when I streamed, we did the Uptown Funk bass line number 1. We did number 2, Baby Shark. We tried Old Town Road number 3. We also did number 4, Fight Song. We did a little bit of that. So for today, for those either who missed it or wanted to play through it again, I'd like to try the Uptown Funk bass line. So with this one, the rhythm goes like this. Now, if you haven't seen this rhythm in your book yet, or we haven't talked about it in your lesson, just know that the new rhythm we're going to have is in the 2nd measure and the 4th measure. And it's called a dotted 8th 16th note. Okay? The most important thing we need to know for this one today, though, other than how to count the rhythm, is really what we're expecting to hear. Right? So the bass line, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. So that's what our rhythm should sound like if we play it correctly. I'm going to count and clap this one, and then we'll try it together on our instruments, and hopefully it goes well for you. Here we go. 1, 2, just clap and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 up, and 1 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 up, and 1 up, and 1. So hopefully that makes sense. If you're looking at this rhythm and you're thinking, I'm really confused, just take a breath, relax, do the best you can with it. Remember, this stuff is a little bit more advanced. We have 16th notes. We will get there in your book. We will get there in your studies. So just be patient. But I figured it would be fun to play this one. And it's actually pretty achievable. You know, it might look difficult, but it's not too bad if you play it with me. Okay? So here we go. Number 1, this is the Uptown Funk bass line. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and I tend to play the quarter notes a little shorter. I know there's no articulation marking for that, but you know that's typically how this one is performed because of how it's performed in the original recording of the song. So let's try number 1. We'll do this one more time. And remember, if you're catching the stream afterwards, like you're not watching live, you can always pause that and play through it again as many times as you want. It's kind of a nice feature of YouTube. Of course, with any video playback, that's nothing new, and we've had that for a while. But don't forget that you can always go back, rewind through it, and pause it. Okay. Here's number 1 more time. 1, 2, ready. Okay, so that's number 1, the Uptown Funk bass line. Most people know how to play Baby Shark already, so we're going to move on. And Uptown Road, or Old Town Road, excuse me, not Uptown Road. Now I'm combining songs apparently. Old Town Road, some of those notes are a little out of a range, and especially for the clarinet part, it's written up really high. So we're going to move on past that one. You can always play it down the octave. So your first note there, if you're a clarinet player, just as an example, since I'm playing clarinet, is an A. So most clarinet players by now know the note A, not that high one, but the one in the 2nd space. So you can always take the notes, figure out what they are, and play it down the octave. But for now, we're going to play something a little bit more easily readable with number 4, Fight Song. So this one most folks know. With the rhythm, we got to make sure that we're being careful of the rests. But hopefully, if you know the tune, that'll help you get the rhythms in order. So again, I'm going to count through number 4, and then we're going to try it. So number 4 goes like this. We have rest, 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 and 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, rest, and 4, and 1, 2, rest, rest, and a 1, and a 2, and 3, and a 4, and 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Rest, rest, rest. So that's how we're going to count that one. And we're going to take this one just as slow as we counted it. You can always play it faster. You know, the song is more like etc. But for us, since we have some rhythms that are a little bit more advanced, we're going to take it slow, and we can always speed up the tempo later. Another thing that I've been talking about in lessons recently is just the idea of playing things slowly when we're learning them, and especially with new fingerings and rhythms and new markings, etc. So, you know, don't be in a rush to get to a point where you're playing a song in your book or a fun song that you learned at the same tempo that it's performed. It's better to learn something slow and do it correctly than to try to learn it at the right tempo or do it quickly and play it with mistakes. You know, we don't want to be playing it, learning it with those mistakes, because then we're going to learn it that way and we'll learn it incorrectly. And you can always speed up the tempo later. Okay, enough said. So let's try number 4, fight song. I'm going to count in 1, 2, 3. And notice you start with a different type of rest than most of you are used to. Some of you have gotten here in the book, some of you have not, and that's okay either way. This is called an eighth rest, and an eighth rest gets half a beat of silence, just like the eighth note gets half a beat. So, you know, I would breathe on that eighth rest, and that'll set you up for success jumping in on that first eighth note. So here we go. Try it with me, please. 1, 2. Okay, so that's fight song. We're going to try that one again all the way through, and we'll go from there. So here's fight song again. I'll count in 1, 2, and then I'll breathe, and 4 and 1. Right, this is my fight song. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. All right, so that's fight song. Now we did those songs last time. That's about 2:12, and we have plenty of time. We have until 2:30 today. So now we're going to go on to some new stuff. We have 2 new songs at the end of this, Despacito and the SpongeBob theme. So Despacito, the biggest challenge of this one is the rhythm, just because we have so many 16th notes. So we're tonguing a lot because, you know, we're not going to slur any of these notes over and over again. We really can't. You can't slur one note to the same note, right? Because that would be tied. But anyway, you know, when we play this one, the biggest thing is just counting, taking your time with it, going slowly, okay? Slow and steady wins the race. You might hear your parents say that. You know, that's definitely a good philosophy and a good idea to live on, you know, because it's better to do something right and slow and speed it up later than to do something wrong and quickly, and then it's going to be more difficult to fix later. So here is Despacito. I'm going to count it first, and then we'll try it. And of course, you can repeat this because this is part of the verse, right? So it's rest, rest, 3, 4, 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a E, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a E, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a E. Rest, rest. Okay, so in terms of counting 16th notes, the one thing that we need to remember is the first part of a group of 4 16th notes is going to be either beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, or beat 4, and then the rest is E and So again, if I'm counting a whole measure of 16th notes, where there's 4 16th notes on every beat, you would count 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay? And then we have a couple of spots where we have 16th rests on a downbeat, which means the first part of the beat. So like in the third measure, it's rest E, and then you have an 8th rest. So again, E, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 and a. If you can't get that, you can just play 1 and 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 and just take out that 16th note. You know, if you can't do that, that's okay. All right, but I'll be playing. Excuse me, which I again, I will be playing through this one for you guys. So you can always listen back and follow your music, and that'll help you to determine the rhythm and to understand it better. So here's number 5, Despacito. Here we go. 1, 2. Rest, rest. And then, of course, instead of just having that half rest at the end, you could always put those first 2 notes there and then jump back into the second measure. Here's what I mean. When you get to the last measure, it'd be ba 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 ba. You know what I mean? So you could do something like that, even though it's not technically written that way. Hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, let's try Despacito again. We're going to take it a little slower. That way it's a little easier to digest. So how about like this fast? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 B and a 3 E and a 4 and a E, 2 B and a 3 E and a 4 and a E, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a E. Rest, rest. Okay. Let's try it from the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2. Rest, rest. Okay, so that is Despacito. Hopefully you're enjoying playing these songs. And now we have one more. Okay, so with the SpongeBob theme, we have another new rhythm that you might not be familiar with, a triplet. A triplet is a certain grouping of notes. We can have different types of triplets. In this song, we have 8th note triplets. You can count them one of 2 ways. I like to count triplet, triplet. So you're taking each syllable, or you're really adding an A to the letter P in the middle of the word, because triplet is 2 syllables, but we have 3 parts to each triplet. So each beat is divided equally into 3 parts. So instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 8, we have triplet, 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 triplet. So anyways, again, don't worry or stress out if you are not familiar with the triplets. You'll probably recognize the SpongeBob theme if you've watched the show before. If you have not, ask your parents for permission first, but the SpongeBob theme is a classic, and it's one that I grew up with and was actually first aired on TV when I was in elementary school. That's pretty cool that it's still around and still pretty popular. But anyways, enough about that. With this one, there's a lot of triplets, so let's break down the rhythm, and hopefully it'll make it easier to understand for you. So we're going to count it like this. Rest, rest. 3, 4, triplet, 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 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 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 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Triplet, 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 triplet. So when we got to that last measure, we have some triplet subdivisions happening. Well, I should say triplet groupings of quarter note, eighth note. So you basically can think about them as a triplet, but you're taking the first two notes and squishing them together or tying them together to make one quarter note. But instead of triplet 2 and 3 and 4, again, triplet, triplet, triplet 4. So you can count them that way. And that's the end of the song. Ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum. Okay. Also, with that being said, I did mention you can count triplets two ways, and I only counted it one way. I just realized that. So when you count triplets, again, the first way that I like to count triplet, 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 triplet. The first part of the triplet is trip, then pa, then let, right? Triplet, 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 triplet. The other way, you can replace the first part of the word triplet with one. So you could say, or rather, you put the beat that the triplet's on as the first part of the count, and then you count using the word triplet after that, but a different way, like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So, do what works best for you as long as you're playing the rhythm accurately. That is the most important thing. So number 6, we're going to try it like this. There might be some notes that you don't know. You can always look them up in your book, or we can work on them in your lesson. Anyways, for now, just do your best and follow along. Here we go. Number 6, nice and slow. 1, 2. Okay, so that's SpongeBob, and that's a little slower than you're probably used to hearing, right? You're probably used to, oh, lives in a pineapple under the sea, SpongeBob, right? Okay, so see what I mean? So like slow and steady wins the race. And I'm not a clarinet player, so I'm in the same boat too. So I would definitely, if I were you, play this one slower. Okay, so let's try it again. We'll go a little bit faster than what we did initially or the first time through, but it will be just a little bit faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, triplet, 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 4. Okay, so you have a half rest at the beginning, just 2 beats of silence, and you're in. Breathe on beat 2, right? Because it's right before beat 3 where you come in on the half note. Here we go. 1. All right, so that is SpongeBob, and we have now gotten through all of our songs for today. So we have just a couple more minutes. Instead of writing in the chat, I disabled the chat for today, just for today. We'll see how we do next time with it. If you have any suggestions of songs that you'd like to play other than the list that I mentioned last time, which you can check out that video on my channel, please talk to me in your lesson about it, and I'd be happy to take requests. We will have some different music next week. I will let you know through your parents' email that comes to them every week what we're going to do, and I'll post that links for you on my website. So we're going to end there for today just because we've gotten through all of our music. And I think that's a good place to stop because that's a lot of stuff to work on. So I hope you guys have had lots of fun learning our new songs. I hope you have enjoyed following along. Remember, you can always go back and watch these after we're done and play along with them anytime you like, as long as they're uploaded on my YouTube channel. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. I will see you during your scheduled lesson. So have a great rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your week. See you later.